We want to know all things social media and how you got to where you are now. So, can you please introduce us and tell us where we can find you on social media world?
So my name is Bailey Lietzke. I am the CEO and owner of 221 Creative Marketing. We are a creative marketing firm based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we have clients all around. And you can find us on Facebook, 221 Creative Marketing, our website, 221creativemarketing.com. And we just want to help small businesses, business owners, individuals, entrepreneurs, um, expand their social media presence and reach their goals through social media.
Welcome to Denny Talks, a guiding conversation to living life to the fullest. Join us for inspiring discussions on entrepreneurship, small business tips, and seizing the opportunities. Subscribe now for concise, motivating episodes that encourage you to chase your dreams, where we believe that life, dreams, and opportunities collide.
Tell us a little bit about how because you just did your own rebranding recently. Can you tell us a little bit
Mhm.
about where the name 221 Creative Marketing came from?
Originally, about a year and a half ago, whenever we started the business, we just called it BL Socials, Bailey Lietzke Socials. And a year later, we had really expanded our services beyond just social media marketing. We encompassed a whole other variety of services. And I was talking to my husband, Jansen, who runs the business with me. And we came to this conclusion that we need to rebrand. We didn't want our name necessarily connected to the business. And we wanted it to mean something and be important. And so we landed at 221. Creative marketing 221 comes from Proverbs 22:1. And that basically, in a nutshell, says that a good name is more valuable than silver or gold and rubies and jewels. And that's the message we want to promote to people is that we are trustworthy, we're a good name, you can count on us, and we are for the local business.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
impactful meaning behind it. So that's exciting.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about maybe kind of why you decided to start your own social media? So it sounds like you started individually and then you've expanded and brought your husband on, which is so cool.
I was in this place in life where I was in between jobs. I used to be a bar and Pilates instructor, and then I kind of just did little jobs here and there. I call them my fun jobs, but nothing that really fueled my passion or really made me excited to get up in the morning. And I've always been a pretty driven, passionate person, so that was really eating me away. That I felt like when I woke up in the morning, there was no there was no drive there. I didn't have a goal, at the time, and that was not good for me because I am task and goal oriented. And so kinda just woke up one morning and I was like, I need to do something. I need to have a purpose to help people. And I knew there was a purpose for me. It was just that journey of finding what that purpose was. Jobs, didn't know which direction I was going. I knew I had always loved social media. That's what I did in college. Throughout my college years, I worked at various jobs and I ran their social media accounts. I did their videos and reels and all those fun things. And so I knew there was promise there. But at the time, even 4, 5, 6 years ago, social media marketing really wasn't a career, even a couple years ago, that was kind of a new thing that people could do besides like your influencers and things like that. It was really just kind of marketing. And then social media marketing was on the rise. And so I didn't know that at the time. And so my father-in-law actually came to me a year and a half ago, and he owns a variety of different companies. And he said, "We're looking for some new marketing. Is that something that you might be interested in taking over? I know you like doing that. You did it in college, et cetera, et cetera." And I was like, "Sure. Why not?" I mean, I'm in between. I was applying for various marketing jobs, and I just, okay, sure, let's try it out. So I started with the 5 accounts that he handed me over to run the marketing for, and it just kind of took off from there. And so we've grown from those 5 accounts now, a year and a half later, to 25 plus accounts. And it was just really cool to see how God was working in all of that, taking it step by step and just fully trusting and jumping in.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of courage to actually
Mhm.
say yes, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, like, I think they call it like imposter syndrome, like feeling like, "Well,
Yes.
I'm in between things, and I don't really know a whole lot."
Mhm.
But just being able to give yourself the permission to try and see what it would
Mhm.
feel like, and then to be able to see the fact that it's grown into something so much bigger and you're helping so many people is pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about the services that you offer? You said that you've expanded to more than just like your typical social media.
Just social media management. So all that encompasses of creating the content, taking the pictures and getting the content, caption writing, and scheduling and posting it out. And so that's really where we started, and that is still our main service that we offer.
Mhm.
But as I gained more clients, there was more needs that people were looking for, and so I was like, okay, well, this is what people are wanting. Let me educate myself more so I can offer these. So I attended a couple of master classes and workshops and things. And so besides the full management, we also offer templates. And so I create templates specifically curated for the client's needs so they can do the creating.
Mm.
Um, as you know, a lot of business owners love that hands-on and they want to be able to do it. And so I want to have that option for them. But they're also business owners, so they're super busy. And so the option of having a already created template is wonderful for that type because they can just insert their own content
Yeah.
and then put in their colors, and then they have, you know, 3 months, 6 months worth of templates that they can post at their own time. So we call that kind of the Kickstarter package. And so it's templates for them to use. We also just do primarily caption writing as well. And so will plug all those captions in with SEO to heighten their chances, of being seen on Google and Facebook and Instagram. And a lot of clients also love that option because if they already have their content, but they need some help in the caption department, we can offer that for them. And we'll also include hashtags and all that good stuff. We also offer videography, which that's kind of my fun thing. I've been doing that for about 6 months now, and it's like I call it my fun hobby that I do. And so I do a variety of sports videography. So I'll make highlight reels or individual reels. These days, for college recruitment, people, they want their highlight reels to send out. So I'll do that for mainly football, a couple of basketball. My husband likes to golf, so I'll go out there and do some fun shots like that. So that's been great. And then my husband offers website design services, which is super cool. That stuff is kind of way over my head,
Mhm.
but he's got it. He's great at it. And so he'll do that. He can do a variety of different website packages as well. So he can take a client's website and update it, fix it up, change it, and then send it back to them. He can do it from scratch and code it and do all that crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and then do full management for the website. So, really, anything that includes digital marketing, if someone comes to us and says, I want this, that, and the next, then we can usually create a plan for them
Yeah.
because oddly enough, most things in digital marketing are connected in some way or another, which is nice because people like to be like a one-stop shop type of business. And so it's been nice to be able to offer that for people.
Right. And what I hear you saying is that, I mean, you've really had to expand a lot of your services because so many businesses are unique and they have special needs, and being able to reach their audiences is really tailored. It sounds like your agency is really tailored to the specific businesses that you work for. So let's go ahead
Mhm.
and try to ask, when you are working with a lot of different businesses, you are seeing probably a trend of like what is a need for reaching an audience. So can you tell some individuals who are interested in getting into social media, trying to build their own brand, what kind of key factors are important for growing your business?
Being authentic, I would
Right.
say, is the number one thing that people are looking for, especially these days. Our world can be pretty crazy and pretty scary. And so when the audience can see the individual or business owner really showing their authentic self, it brings this reliability and it makes it more personal and really more trustworthy, because, people want to see your heart. They want to see your passion and why you do it. They want to know your reason why. And so I would say if you're getting into it, whether you're somebody getting into social media, a business owner, or just someone that wants to put out content, show your authentic self, and fully be yourself, because that's what's going to draw people in more, because a lot of times people can kind of smell a phony. And so if you're yourself, people are going to love you for who you are. And if not, then that's probably not the client, or the business owner that you would want to work with.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you can, I think you're 100% right when you go online and you're like, this feels forced, or this
Hmm.
doesn't sound like them in real life. Like, I know that person in real life and that's not how they are. So like you said,
Hmm.
people want to know, like, and trust you before they purchase from
Hmm.
you. And so being able to show up truly who you are can bring your whole clientele and the right people that want to stick around. So that's important to know.
Hmm.
So now on social media, do you feel like it's important, because you're talking about being authentic? Do you think that it's important to stick with like the trends and trying to stay up with the social media trends, or just kind of stay in your own lane and just be true to kind of who you are? What's your take?
I think it definitely depends on the niche that you're in. I don't, I for sure think it's important to definitely stay on the trends, but you can always add in that personal touch as well. Because as much people do want to see the personal side of you and the authentic side of you, you're still at the end of the day, running a business and want to stay with the trends and ahead of everything. And luckily these days on all the social media platforms, there are so many different ways that you can stay on the trends, but also provoke that emotion and draw people in and want them to know more. I've had a couple clients who are pretty that I have worked with or almost worked with in the past that have been pretty set on, we just want to follow the trends, stay up to date, do the entertaining, and don't show anything on the back end or the personal side. And so, in some aspects, yes, I totally understand that privacy part of it,
Mhm.
but also there are ways that you can show your authentic self, show your heart, show your passion without having to expose your kids or your family or things like that. And so there's always ways to show the audience who you are, but also keeping your life still as private as you want it to be.
I have seen a lot of people kind of move away from showing every single part of their life. And
Mhm.
there's definitely way, and they're still being successful at it. So I'm glad that you added that.
Yes.
It's definitely can
Yes.
be done. You don't have to show every single thing a part of your life in order to be successful.
Mhm.
So how would you measure measure success for like a social media campaign? So as if a business owner is going out there and they're like, oh my gosh, my reel only got 37 views off of it this time. What deems as being successful?
So I would say again, depending on the client or the niche that you're in. So some clients, we set these goals at the beginning of our time working together, and so then every a month to 3 months, we reevaluate. And so a lot of my clients, they would love to see a sale through the social media, and so if we post out a campaign or something specific, an ad, we boost a post and we get some sort of interaction from that. So even if it's just a phone call or a Facebook message, I would say any kind of interaction for the majority of my clients, that is successful for us. We love when posts, have a high reach or high interaction on a monthly report. But if we're reaching people and they're reaching back out to us in interest, that's definitely, I would say, is a way to measure the success there. Or even so, if we do post a authentic type of post online, sharing about the story behind the business or maybe something personal, and people can relate in the comments and we can reach people on that emotional level, I would say that is more successful than any sale could be, knowing if we share something and someone can relate to it,
Mhm.
that might make their day or make them be filled with joy or whatever it may be. Really the passion for people and letting them know that, like I said, it's a crazy, scary world sometimes, but we're here, we're human. And if we can make your day a little better, then that's the success.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that it's not necessarily about like if you can go viral on social media type of thing, that doesn't always mean that it's successful. But if you can encourage people to reach back out to you or have some sort of item that's going to drive your needle forward in your business is going to be successful. So even if your post only has 6 likes on it, then that is one person that's reached out from that post, then it was still important for your business. So it's important to show up even if you have a small audience. Does that sound pretty accurate?
Yes, I would say, like you said, even if your post gets 6 likes on it, if even one person reaches out to you or has an interest in your business or your services, what you're offering, that is a huge win, because even if, 100 people buy something or one person buys something, at least something is getting bought or a service is being used, and people are getting reached regardless.
Right. And I really like the way that you had said that our world is so crazy and hard to take sometimes. And so I like that
Mhm.
you are also adding in that you have some feel good moments in there that when you are sharing and being authentic and you're just brightening somebody's day, how that right there is going to leave them with a positive taste in their mouth to want to go back and consume your content in another way. And so they'll stick around and take in your content and they might turn around and interact with you in a different way because they had a positive interaction the time before. So even though that might not have led to a sale directly, but continuing to show up on social is one way that you can continue to drive force on your. So I like that you have a variety of different reasons to show up on social media, like you were saying.
Yes, absolutely. And it kind of goes in through like the marketing side of it, of that brand recall too.
Mm,
If, like you said, you brighten someone's day with a post, they're going to remember that and they might reference that or go back to it, or whatever service you're offering. If they're wanting something like that later on, it will make it more likely that they'll remember whatever post that you had made that made them feel good or made them smile or laugh or whatever it might be, and that will have that brand recall for them to go back to there and more likely than not use your product or the service or whatever you're offering.
right. So can you give me some tips for somebody who's wanting to get started? What is your foolproof idea for laying out like how to make a social media post? Let's take Instagram for a reason.
Yes, so I would say I definitely am a little old school with this. I like to write out my steps or kind of have a plan of action to go about. So, if you already have your idea, if you have your picture, video, your content in place of what you're wanting, I would write the caption from that. And so, like, if you're selling a top product that you have to offer, I would put on the graphic itself the main feature of that post. So let's say you are selling your top selling sweater. So I would put on there maybe it's water resistant or it's super cozy or whatever it may be, why people tend to buy this sweater over others. I would put that big on the graphic, and then ideally someone wearing it. What I've noticed and gathered is that real life people, real life pictures are going to do better than just a simple graphic, because again, that brings that personal touch to it. You see, there's actually a face there. It's not just, words on a post. And then I would take whatever graphic you have, that content, and then make your caption out of it and fill it with all those keywords. So, comfy sweater, cozy sweater, sweater for the fall, winter fashion, just a variety of things that you would think that you personally would look for in a product. So we like to say sometimes that we're our best client. You want to be your best client. And so when you're coming up with a caption, what would entice you to buy this product? Especially if you're the business owner, you love your business, you're passionate about it. Why do you love it? Why are you passionate about it? And really put that in the mix of your captions, your hashtags, and the way you push product out.
Now I've heard, you hear the words of like your call to action, you hear like a hook. Those are those like key phrases that you tell, like you hear all the time when people are saying you have to have those. Would you say that that's important to put on every single one of your posts? Throw it in every once in a while. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I definitely would say have a call to action on every single one of your posts. And if it's not fully in your post, definitely in your caption. Whenever I was learning from one of my mentors about 2 years ago, one of the most valuable tips that I got from her, she was the head of marketing for Goodwill for many, many years. And then I was able to learn from her. And she said, um, great advice from her was to always put your logo on your posts and some sort of call to action. And so that's what I do with my clients now. Always have a logo and have some sort of call of action, whether that's a phone number or a website, whatever way people can reach you the best. Even now with Facebook features, you can do a direct message button right there on the post too. And so there are so many options to do, but definitely your logo and definitely some sort of phone number or website. And then I would also double it up and add it in the caption as well, because there's going to be times people are just going to read the caption. There's going to be times people are just going to look at the posts. And I know for me, if I see something I like, if I see something on Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to screenshot it and save it for later or refer back to it. And that's why it's so important to have your logo on it as well, because people are going to know where to go to find that post again or that product or that service or whatever you have to offer. And then it'll also be easy for them to get in contact, whether that's a website or phone number. And the same with the caption, especially now that you can link things in the caption, it's easy for somebody to just click the link really fast and head straight to whatever that may be, a website or an email or whatever way people can reach you the most.
Yeah, that's really important. I like what you are saying on there too, because our world is so inundated with trying to sell and buy and remember this and do this and do that. So if you can have them just remember seeing your logo, and that branding side of things is really key. So then that way people can see it all the time and remember exactly, where did I see that post from? Oh, okay. And so
Mhm.
having that important feature located all the time. So what is your favorite apps or software that you like to use in order to do those kinds of things? Like if I wanted to have my picture and I wanted to insert my brand on the top of my picture, what programs do you prefer to use?
I love Canva. I feel like it is the most user friendly, especially if you are just starting out in social media or if you've been in it for a long time.
Mhm.
They have incredible features and it's just really easy to use. When I first started out, that's the program that I was recommended to use was Canva.
Mhm.
And I feel like it was super user friendly and it's easy and it's very accessible. I definitely recommend if you are serious into your social media or your branding, definitely invest in the Canva Pro. Um, those features blow the other features out of the water, and I definitely think it's worth the investment and the payment to do that,
Mhm.
especially with the logos. You can blur out the background, you can stick it wherever you like. The templates, there's a more variety of templates, fonts, options like that. So I definitely recommend Canva, specifically Canva Pro, if you're really trying to get serious into it.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. And I don't feel like it's too pricey for the amount of
No, yeah.
you get. And like you were saying, you can
Hmm.
purchase templates. So you could either purchase templates from Bailey, but you can even just search Canva templates for social media.
Hmm.
And once you purchase those, usually that's where people are pushing, like you can edit this template in Canva, and they just make it so
Hmm.
friendly. So that's exciting to see that a platform is user friendly, because I kind of started learning how to use like Adobe Illustrator like way back
Hmm.
when, and that's one of the programs that I love to use, but it's hard to learn, and it takes a long time to do that. And so anybody can open up Canva and get started right away with having very little
Hmm.
background knowledge on computer world. So it's exciting that everything is
Yes.
more accessible for people. Makes it that much easier.
Hmm.
Good. Well, so then what is maybe some advice that you have that you would like to leave our audience with, that is encouraging people to get into the social media world, or maybe they just feel stuck and they don't know what to create? What kind of inspiring advice do you have for us?
Yes, I would say honestly, just jump in and just do it. You're never going to regret trying. I would rather try and fail than never try and regret it for the rest of my life, you know? And I think that's kind of how I got started in this. I just jumped in, didn't even question it. It felt right. I felt like the Lord was calling me to that, and really just going to God, asking Him for the guidance, listening to the Holy Spirit, and just seeing where it will take you. And so I definitely think just do it and just jump in. Um, Before I started, I was really into listening to a podcast by her name's Barbara from Shark Tank, and she was a podcast guest on this episode I was listening to, and she was talking about how she became so successful in her real estate ventures and commercial real estate and all of this. And one of the pieces of advice she had given that really stuck with me well over a year and a half ago was that ignorance really was bliss for her, because she didn't know exactly like how hard it was going to be. But because she didn't know how hard it was going to be, she just jumped right in, and it led her to so much success. And so I think just pushing back those fears and pushing away all the what ifs and just diving right in and seeing where it can take you, and just trusting that, you know, it'll work out. And if not, something better is coming.
Really good advice. I think a lot of times we overthink it, a lot of things. And so just going for it, and your life is so short. And so it's important to get started with whatever your
Mhm.
dream is instead of watching it go away. So that leads me to one of my questions that we ask our guest is about opportunity. And so you were talking a little bit about your opportunity at the beginning of this, is that your father-in-law, was that correct? Had reached
Mhm.
out to you, and that was your opportunity to um, move forward into this. But was there something else that you think was an important opportunity in your life that prompted you to pursue this venture?
Yes. So there was another little tidbit of advice that I had heard that had stuck with me around this exact same time that my father-in-law had came to me, and all of these things were starting to shift and move into this. And that is, if you don't do it, somebody else will. And so it really like lit a fire under me to jump on any opportunity I could, and just saying yes to all of these opportunities. And now I'm in a position where I don't have to say yes to everything. But at the start, it was just saying yes and jumping in. Anyone with a business or wanted help would come to me, even if it was just one post, or if it was just one caption, or they wanted me to take one picture. I was saying yes, because I knew if I didn't do it, then somebody else would. And I would rather have my mark on it, and make an impact on that person or on that business, than anyone else, too. And so I think that that is what also really motivated me, was just saying yes to all the opportunities I could that I knew would help me grow and be there to grow my business, and grow me as a professional in this career. And so, yeah, just saying yes and knowing that if I don't do it, somebody else is going to.
And that takes a lot of courage, Bailey. So I'm really excited to see your business grow and flourish. And please tell people where they can follow you again or get in contact with you.
Yes. Yes. So I am on Facebook at 221 Creative Marketing. And then also you can find us on our website, 221creativemarketing.com. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity and asking me to be a part of your podcast, and your guest today.
Yes, well, it's been wonderful learning from you and hearing all about what you are able to offer to businesses, and how you are just using the opportunities around you to be able to grow as a person, and strengthen your relationship with the Lord as well as your husband too. And being able to work with him is just pretty exciting to be able to watch you guys continue to grow and expand, and using each other's strengths. That's pretty exciting too. And any sort of
Yes.
partnership, I think, is important. Where you were saying, website's not really my thing. I'm more of like the picture and the creative part of it. And so being able to hone in together and be able to use each other's strengths is awesome in business as well as in your marriage too. So I like that you're just standing in your truth. So I appreciate your time
Yes.
today,
Thank you.
and we will connect with you soon.
All right. Thank you.